Hey Flosstube, this is Jean. Welcome to my channel, Monticello Stitches. It's a cold day in Georgia, which is probably silly to the rest of the country, but it's pretty cold here. 45. Sorry to complain. I've had a good week, hope you have. I just wanted to share with you some things I'm up to. The first thing is, we had a Zoom meeting of this Needlework Expo that I'm going to be in. I'm going to be in a virtual room with 4 or 5 other new designers, and if you have a local needlework shop, if you see anything you like, tell them to please try to go to that virtual shop. You can shop in your pajamas. I may be talking to people in my pajamas. But that will be the first weekend in March, the Saturday, Sunday, Monday 2 of March, and I'm pretty excited. So I want to show you what I've been up to. I've worked real hard on my latest design. I haven't told you the name yet because I don't want it to be a surprise, but I am half done. See if the light's better. I've got half of it done, and it's coming so slowly, but it's turning out a lot better than I thought it would. So that's my latest thing. I may not have it ready for the expo, but the gal in charge was saying you don't need to put everything you have out there because you want to do releases later in the year, so, which is good because I'm tired of stitching. But we'll see. So that's kind of exciting. I wanted to share with you something I stitched a while ago. This is a Moira Blackburn piece, and she does great samplers. This one's called, I believe, Scottish Love, and it was a kit stitched on 40 count linen, which I found to be kind of challenging. I have sort of discovered my comfort zone is more like 32 count, but I did it, and here it is. Oh, glare. And so everything came in the kit. This part here, I changed to say Love Never Ends. It was a spot to put some dates if you wanted to. I really didn't want to do that, but this is a great size. There's a lot of stitching on this thing because it's probably, I don't know, 11 by 14 or so, so I'll just try to get it close. There's a lot of stitching on this little rascal, so I had started it the way I normally do everything. I start gangbusters, go, 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 and then I kind of put it aside for a while, and someday I get back to it. But I did get back to it. So, Scottish Love Sampler by Moira Blackburn. She has fabulous, fabulous things. I wanted to show you, this might be the last one I have of my own that's ready, but it's in my Etsy shop, Monticello Stitches at Etsy, but it's going to be in print, available to needlework stores at that Needlework Expo. But this is one of the very first few things I designed, but it's called A Gentle Needle. Gentle Needle Soothes the Restless Heart. I might should have said the anxious heart, because this world we're in right now causes a lot of anxiety, I think. But this too is, I think this might be 10 by 14 maybe, and I stitched it on something. It might be 28, it might be 32. I have switched almost exclusively to 32 count linen. It's just a cream linen I had, but you know how stitching really does take you away from the world and all the cares of the world, and you can just pretend that everything's okay. Have your cup of coffee and watch your old movie, and life is pretty good. I may have told you I moved in the summer. I had all my hobbies still in boxes. So this past weekend I went through about half my boxes, mostly my quilting fabric, but I found some wonderful cross-stitch patterns that I had totally forgotten about, so I'm going to share them with you. I'm so busy stitching on my own stuff, but after this last one, I'm going to get into my stash and try to knock some of those out. But this one I bet you have seen. This is the Day by Lottie Da. Isn't that great? This is the day. the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. So that's just been languishing in my box of, they're not even UFOs, they're just forgotten projects. So someday I'll get to that one. And then I found some historic samplers. When I first started kind of discovering historic samplers online, I picked a few to stitch, and I'm going to share a couple with you that I have found, but I haven't started stitching them. This one is called the Charlotte Clayton Sampler, and it was reproduced to benefit the Jefferson County Historical Society in Jefferson County, Washington. The picture is dim. That's the only way to say it. The picture is really dim, but the motifs are awesome. This one has, I don't know if you can see, look at these big cats. Aren't they fun? And then there's maybe a dog on a pillow. Gosh, it's easier to see on the monitor than it is in person. Little Adam and Eve. But this one would be fun to stitch. And I'm hoping to get going at some point. After this needlework show, we'll see. And then I got this one. This one is a Berlin woolwork piece, and samplers kind of evolved over time. They were spot samplers, and then they got a little more sophisticated, and these German woolwork pieces had more fleshed out pictures and just really beautiful. You know, you've seen these things, they're just more beautiful. So this one is called EH 1775, and I actually bought it from Europe. This gal in Germany, and I cannot think of her name, has beautiful samplers, has them divided into the region they're from, the years they are from. This one is a German one, but she has them divided into Great Britain, the Netherlands, Germany, France. So they're a lot of fun to look at, so if you want to check them out. If you Google historic samplers, you will find her name, which I cannot think. It might be Sabine somebody. And I'm so sorry, I should have had that with me, but I don't remember. But that is a fun. Look at the stitching on this guy. So that's a long-term project. All my things are very long-term projects. So that's kind of fun. I also found lots of quilting patterns that I had never done, but I love these patterns and I hope I would. My favorite thing about quilting is applique, and I really like needle turn applique, and I do it with the back basting method, so sometime I'll explain to you how that goes if you're interested. But oh, this is a Susan Garman pattern. The world lost a great quilt advocate in Susan Garman, I think last year. This is hers. Can you see it? Isn't that gorgeous? Borrowed Roses. And someday I'm going to make that one. Applique I really, really like. So that's one. This is one that uses foundation piecing, and I can do it. I'm not a fan of it, and I didn't know it was a fan until I tried it. I was a fan until I tried it. This is a Mariner's Compass, and it's foundation piece. It's really gorgeous, beautiful. But I haven't done it. I think some of these I got on a trip to the Paducah Quilt Show. I've been 3 times, which is so much fun. And I think I still have fabric and things I bought there that I haven't done much with yet, but I have made a lot of stuff. And this is something I got. Oh, Hancock's in Paducah. If you get the chance to go to Hancock's, they are a quilting mecca. Beautiful fabrics. This was just something, and gosh, I haven't started it either. So I'm going to bring in what I have started though. As I say, I really love applique quilts, and I got really fired up and turned on by Baltimore Album quilts. They were only made in a brief period of history, in the Baltimore region, and they have had a real revival thanks to Elly Sienkiewitz. And these books have been out a while, but she has not charted because it's not cross-stitched, but she has drafted patterns from wonderful, wonderful Baltimore Album quilts. And these books have each pattern drafted into quarters, so then you trace them onto your paper. Now what I do is I take freezer paper, big, because I think these are 14 inches square when they're done. I take freezer paper and put a center line down the middle, up and down, so you have a vertical and horizontal axis. And then these patterns have axes too, so you can line them right up. And I have a little homemade light table. Table's not the right word because it's just a pane of glass I use between two chairs and stick a flashlight under there. But that's how I trace onto the freezer paper to get my entire block done. So then I'll have like a 14-inch square of the entire block that I'm doing. Like say if it's this, I'll have it all traced out. It'll look like that, but it's all traced out. And then I'm usually using a light background. So I use my homemade light table. Again, it's just a pane of glass about 18 inches square. And I put 2 kitchen chairs together and lay that pane of glass right on top. And then I shine a big flashlight underneath so I can see through. So I put my pattern down on the glass, and then I tape everything down so it doesn't move around. Then I sort of stretch and tape the piece of fabric. Usually I'm using something pretty light on top of my pattern with that flashlight shining up under, and you can just trace it all out with on the back side. Because I'm a back baster, I trace my total pattern on the back side of my applique square that I'm going to use. And I just trace it in a pen, ink pen. And then you do the back basting method. And if you're interested, I'll describe that another time. But that's how I do it. So I've made 2 of these Baltimore Album patterns. One's actually on a bed upstairs. And this one behind me, I'm going to try to show you better. It's actually ready to be quilted. This is a long-term project. I would go great guns, work, and then I kind of lost steam. That's sort of how I do sometimes. But I finally did get it basted to quilt. I don't tolerate a quilting frame very well. It frankly hurts my wrist and hurts my thumb, and so what I do is, in the past I put it in a quilting frame and basted it all over, and then I just quilt in my lap with no frame at all. This one, I have some pictures and I'll share sometime. Somebody had a method where you stretch it out over your stretch it out over a table. I actually put it over my dining room table, the layers, the backing, the batting, and the top, and centered it over the dining room table. And then I had art clips and just pulled it very tight, put those art clips around it. But underneath the quilt sandwich, I had those big quilting green pads so I didn't scratch my table. And then I just basted it like a crazy girl all over the place. So that's how I did it. So now I'm ready. I just quilted it during COVID. It was in my closet of forgotten projects. So they can't even be called UFOs. They're just forgotten projects. And so I basted it at the beginning of COVID, and I'm going to work on it a little bit at a time. I've been so driven by cross-stitch with a goal in mind, so I'm trying to get one more thing done, and then I'm going to take a little break, and I'm going to quilt or knit or anything else for a while. But I'm going to show you my Baltimore Album that I did in these pinks and greens right behind me. So take a look if you want to. It's a queen size quilt. Can you see? So I think in the Baltimore Album tradition, every square represented something in the girl's, usually girl making it, the girl's life. Some of them are kind of wedding themed. This one is not. This was just flowers and things. So think of it as almost a picture album. So just try to show you some more of it. So I did the back basting and then needle turn applique, and just took me a long time, but it was, I don't know, it was an obsession like I get. Maybe you get obsessions. But I have another one that is actually quilted on the bed, and I will show you that one another time. But it's fun. And then around the pink stuff, almost all the pink flowers I blanket stitched. So it was a long-term project, but very satisfactory. So fun. Well, I hope you enjoy it. And oh, I also have something else to share with you, and you probably know about these two. Would have helped if it were closer. I really like Historic Samplers, and this magazine's no longer in print, but if you can find some issues, you may find it inspiring. But it's called Sampler and Antique Needlework, and it was in print for 10 or 15 years, I'm not sure. You can also get a CD of all of the issues, but I do better if I have it in my hand. And I have many years of them. I didn't have these. I don't have too many after a certain point, like maybe after 2008. But they're really so educational. You learn a ton, and you get to see so many beautiful things. If Historic Samplers are your thing, it's really a great resource. So off eBay, I bought some that I didn't have. So that's a happy afternoon's entertainment with a cup of coffee and Ancient Aliens on the TV. I hope y'all like that. That is, that's what I'm all about, Ancient Aliens. Well, thanks for watching. Have a great day. My stuff is in my Etsy shop, only as PDFs. I'm trying to get ready for this show, and I'll have charted patterns in hand for that. And after that, I'll get back to putting them in the Etsy store. I just don't want to have to be doing a few at a time when I'm getting ready to hopefully send out several. I'll tell you again, I've had many people ask me about this quilt. I need to put it in the comments. It's called Patriotic Rose by Janice Miller, and it's available at probably several places, but it's available at quilterswarehouse.com. So, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you have a great day. Happy stitching. Stay safe. Thanks. Thought I'd show you my quilt. Oh, it's laid out on the floor. But every block is different. And they're all out of the Baltimore Album book. And they're a lot of fun to make. And not terribly hard. You can do it. Now that one right there in the middle was kind of like a snowflake when we were kids, if you remember cutting out those. But each one different, kind of had a pink and green vibe going on, and my sister's favorite colors were pink and green, so glad I chose that. So this is my Baltimore album, one of them, and I'll show another one another time. But I really do like to quilt. And this will be hand quilted. It's basted. The sandwich is all basted. So I'll start with that round, snowflakey looking one, like a snowflake of our youth. I'll start in the center and then work out. So hopefully no wrinkles too much. But that's it. And thanks you guys for watching. Really do appreciate it. Thank you. Bye.